And welcome everyone to Enjoy the Show, hosted by yours truly, Arturo.
I'm Billy.
And welcome. I know I said that already. So as we're getting started, so we're back.
Yes.
We've only done one episode this year. We're adults. Sometimes we don't often get a chance to do as much as we want to.
Nope.
And that's kind of what really has, I guess, influenced the direction we want to go in.
Yeah,
So this is something we
definitely.
literally thought about as we were here, like we were setting up, and it's this idea. And for me personally, I'm always scrambling to we need to post immediately,
Yeah.
we need to cover things immediately, but we don't always get the chance to, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And so we want to make this a little bit less.
Topical? Less topical?
Less topical, more conversational,
Yeah.
more relaxed for sure, and just make it
sure.
about us catching up on
Yeah.
what we've been watching lately.
Yeah, definitely.
And hopefully it's things that are interesting to you guys and things that everyone has been watching.
Yeah.
So and then for that same matter, we meant to talk about Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan's newest film last week. I didn't get a chance to see it until a little bit later.
Yeah.
And but we did binge watch You, and then I have since watched Knock at the Cabin. So this episode will be about both those.
Both
things.
of those, yes. Yes. Oh, my God. Well, what should we start off with first?
I mean, you mentioned You earlier. Since it's really fresh in our
it's really
minds.
fresh.
Yeah,
It's really fresh.
let's
So,
get
by the
into
way,
it.
I didn't mention, I think, did we talk about any? No, we haven't talked about anything. So, if you're new to this podcast, it's all spoilers. We talk about spoilers every single episode. So, that being said, we are going to spoil season 4, part 1 of You, and the rest of You, probably.
Well, I mean, the rest of You's not out yet.
No, what I mean is prior seasons.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
seasons 1, 2, and 3. And then we will be.
I was like, how did you get it? How did you watch it already?
I have my ways. And then we will be obviously spoiling Knock at the Cabin, without a doubt. So this is your one and only spoiler warning. If you have not seen any of these, go watch them and then come back to the episode. But if you don't care about spoilers, welcome to the conversation.
And thank you for being here.
Thank you. Yes, we happy to have you. Take a
Alex.
seat, grab your Sprite, or you don't have
Actually,
anything. You got your water bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're much better of a person than I am.
Well, to me, I mean, 'cause I just didn't really grow up with soda as a whole, which now it's interesting because I didn't grow up with it. Side tangent.
Yeah.
It kind of burns my throat a little bit
Oh,
in
sure,
a
yeah.
good way. So then when I'm having it with
burns
tacos
so good.
and I'm having the right salsa hit and it just burns already, and then it just adds
Yeah.
more burn. That's when I have
Yeah.
soda. That's
Yeah.
when I like.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
adds to it.
So we'll talk about season 4, part 1 of You, and again, spoilers. First off, I want to say this: Penn Badgley looks phenomenal with a beard and long hair.
Yeah,
he
he does.
looks well. If you want to call that a beard, I mean, I guess you would.
Oh yeah, of course it's a beard.
Yeah.
It's a
well, I mean,
massive beard.
some people say beards when it goes all the way down, whatever. But some people will be like, "Oh, that's just really scruffy." But dude, he
No,
looks
that's a full-on
so,
beard. What the fuck? Yeah,
he looks,
no.
and I'm gonna say this:
Yeah.
he looks hot.
Yeah.
He looks really hot.
a good-looking dude.
He's a great-looking guy. He's only a year older than I am, which I did not know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's great. But I know that's really random. But what did you think of? Because by the way, we
Yeah.
have not spoken about either one of these topics
true.
either. So this is our first time talking about it with
You guys
each
are
other.
getting it here first. This is genuine,
Yeah.
actual reactions.
Yeah.
So going into season 4, I was expecting what we're kind of familiar with.
Me too.
With it's Joe chasing after a new girl in a new place and he's just hunting them down, type of thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that this went in a completely different direction.
Yeah.
Was actually it was very welcome.
I was yeah.
I mean, You does a great show. I mean, a great way of giving you that similar story beat, but adding on to it every single
Yep.
time. And I was down to get the same quote unquote story.
Yeah, the formula, the same formula.
I was,
Me too.
I was totally
too.
prep for it. I was not against the idea of it in any way, shape, or form. But when this went in an entirely different direction,
Yeah.
where it's literally become a whodunit,
Yeah.
and someone's framing him for murder,
I feel like the last season 3 was also a whodunit as well, because didn't it kind of
well, there's always been an element of mystery in the show. And
yeah, because Joe, from my recollection, he has he's had a history of blacking out and killing people and not realizing it.
Well, I remember a big part of season 2.
Yeah, that was
when I forgot the name of it. His friend in L.A., the apartment owner, manager, when Love killed her, and he was blacking out, thinking he had killed her.
Oh yeah,
Jenna Ortega's
Jenna
older sister.
Ortega's. That's right. Yeah. Which, by the way, it's crazy to think about. That was the first thing I ever saw her in, and now look where she is.
Yeah, no, good
Anyways,
for her. Yeah, same. I think that was. I'm pretty sure that was the first thing I saw her in as well.
It was, yeah.
And then it was the Babysitter Part 2.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, back to season 4. So yeah, the fact that it went in this direction, I welcomed it, and I thought it was really interesting how in the prior seasons Joe is always our protagonist, but he's also he's not the best guy, and and adds to there's so many layers of gray to his character, and however in this, because it's something that's being done to him in a sense, he's become a much more a much stronger classic protagonist.
Yeah.
Because there's less of him that's sketchy now. Because he's not the one, stalking on someone.
Yeah.
We got to see a little bit of what happened with Marianne. He lets her go.
Yeah, which, if I'm going to be completely honest, I kind of was...
You wanted more of her,
I wanted a lot more of her because, like you said, I welcome this new thing that they're doing where, like, essentially now he's being watched. Someone's following him, which I was like not expecting at all. So I was expecting this entire first part to be, this entire season to be him trying to find Marianne and reconnecting with her. But in the first episode we did get that, but it was very short. It almost was like it was just almost glossed over real quick. Like we didn't even get to and it was flashbacks. It was all flashbacks. It wasn't even current time, which is fine, but I would have liked to have seen it more or less kind of happen in quote unquote the real time.
Do you think that some of that storyline will be brought back for the second half?
I mean, I feel like yes, it will, because he didn't actually, because the guy messaging him was like, oh, you have to kill her, and he doesn't kill her, right? He just steals her necklace and just sends that dude a picture, and is like, it's done. So I feel like there's going to be some way where that's going to I feel like that's going to come back around in the last maybe couple episodes or something like that. Like that guy's going to come back around and be like, well, or it's going to be one of those it's just going to be one of those throwaway things. And either way, like if it happens, cool. If it doesn't happen, that's okay too, because I like what is happening now.
Yeah.
Like I like how essentially this guy that Joe meets in this big group of wealthy individuals who all suck, now is following him. And now we have this like, well, what's he gonna do now? How is this gonna pan out? So, and like I did think to myself, like if they brought Marianne back, fine, but if not, that's okay too. But if they found a way to do them both together and they mesh really, really well, like if almost as if like if Marianne comes back, they like team up together. Yeah. And I know that's like it's probably not gonna happen, but it's just like one cool little thing that I'm like, that'd be pretty cool if like she killed people with him. Like, I don't know.
Like Love did, in a sense.
Yeah, but like Love was actually crazy. Oh yeah. Like true. And very scary. Dude, whereas Marianne is not at all.
I do enjoy where we're going and this and that, but like I miss Love, dude. She was such an
She was a great character. She was a great character.
So
I'm gonna be honest with you. When it was revealed who the person was messaging him through that app,
you were hoping it was
I was kind of hoping it was her.
A lot of people were.
Yeah.
That's one of the very common things I saw on TV Time, the app I use to track all my shows.
Yeah.
And people were talking about it afterwards. How that she is very much missing. People were like, yeah, even though I knew it wasn't, I was still kind of hoping it was. And we'll get to that in just a sec.
Totally.
There was something you mentioned that I really wanted to point out. Is that the fact that, yes, all these characters she's currently surrounded with do suck. And that is even a stronger thing that pushes towards Joe being such a true protagonist, but just being more of the good guy.
Yeah.
Because everyone around him is terrible.
Yeah.
So
except for
it's
Kate.
Really,
I like Kate.
Kate's great.
Kate's great.
But it's still pushing him into this light of having him be a lot more of just the good guy instead of the guy that, walks on both sides type thing.
Yeah.
I think that was a big push for this. The fact that it opened up in London as opposed to Paris threw me.
Yeah.
Because we were all expecting the Marianne
I was expecting
aspect.
that. Yeah.
It's something that I want to look into now that we finished the first half, because I didn't want to look into it beforehand.
Of course.
To spoilers.
Yeah, no, of course.
But whether or not the idea was always, Paris and Marianne and that chase, or was it at some point they're like, and you know what, maybe we shouldn't. and let's maybe do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Or was this always the plan from the get-go? I'm just curious.
I have
on
a
that.
feeling. I have a feeling it was not part of the plan from the get go. I feel like maybe there's something where Tati Gabrielle like couldn't do the whole kit and caboodle, and I feel like they had to kind of just be like, well, shit, she can't do the entire show now. We have to figure something else out.
The actress of Marion. by the way.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of what happened.
I mean, it's possible, especially because it looks like the majority of everything that she has filmed actually so far could have been easily done in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an entirely real possibility. I don't know. I saw a lot of memes / hope / I mean, it would have never happened, but all these things of Joe in Paris and Emily in Paris, and that she was next.
Oh my god!
And it was going to be this crossover.
Dude, I would love that. That would be so crazy. Imagine just Lily Collins is just like, hey, what's up? And Joe's like, who the fuck are you? My name's Emily. It's just like, what the fuck?
And the crazy thing, if you like, what would be like? Would it be Emily in Joe's world like that,
or
like
Joe and Emily's world?
Yeah, like
I feel like it would be Emily and Joe's world because I feel like, but at the same time though, like, does it really have to be one or the other? Like, it just oh my god, that would be so nuts. Of course, it's never gonna happen, but like, dude, oh my god, now damn it!
Yeah. I saw this Photoshop poster of Emily when she was taking selfies, like eating like the French food and stuff.
Oh, and Joe was behind her. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Oh, imagine that, just hello, Emily.
I mean, at the very least, it'd be great if they're able to do like a little crossover ad or something.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Like I saw like one of the Super Bowl ads was for a truck, but it was like jumping in Netflix universes.
Oh,
and like I can easily see something where it's like Netflix promoting all their material and like they cross paths or something.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I didn't watch the Super Bowl because I don't care, but that is cool still. But yeah, no, I mean, like, but the thing with part one is that this is now, like you said, it's a whodunit, and we don't know who has done it yet, which is good. But what?
I was just gonna say, like, the fact. So again, like, this is in two parts, and if you've seen this, you're on the same page we are.
Yeah.
The fact that they revealed the killer right now, exactly halfway through, because we have 5 more episodes to go.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, it was very less cliffhangery than I expected, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I love that, knowing that from the back half of this season is going to be
it's just going to be
Joe
Fallout
versus Reese.
Yeah.
Who is
the villain now?
Who is you?
Who is you? Yes. And honestly, I'm gonna full transparency here. It's not that, like, remember how I was saying, like, oh, I was kind of hoping it was love.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't want it to be him. I don't know exactly who I wanted it to be specifically, but I was like, really, him? Okay, all right. But like the fact that he knew Joe's name and he's been like following him around and he knows everything about him. I'm like, well, how long has he been following him? Like, how, like, does it go back to season 1 with Beck? Like, does he know everything about him?
We don't know yet.
That's my question. That's like, true. Because
I have the feeling that he doesn't, because it looks. He could have been like just adding to the whole narrative of it, but like, it looked like he found out after the fact, after he did research on him. Like something stuck out first, and then he looked into him.
Yeah,
because he could have known since the beginning.
I mean, but because if you think about, And I'm saying this because of the all the newspaper and shit in there. I feel like he does know, because like obviously like with like
well, he could have found out over one weekend and then printed everything out.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But like, does that, like, is it that, or is it this guy has known about Joe Goldberg ever since he met Beck, or maybe it's been even way before that.
I really don't think so. Just because he's in,
like, how crazy
England.
would it be? Like, well, how crazy would it be though if like it flashes back to like a part in season 1 where Reese was in the fucking bookstore in season 1? Like, imagine that shit.
I don't see it happening.
I know, I don't either. But like, how fucking nuts would that be?
Don't get your hopes up.
I know. Of course not. These are just things that I think about that I'm just like, that would just be so cool.
That's definitely a very common thing in third parts of movies and trilogies, and even third seasons, where like something that's happening right then and there connects to something from the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
Because we are on 2 very separate continents. I don't see that happening.
True.
At all. But there might be a bigger story of someone he's connected to. I wasn't thinking it was Reese, but then once it was revealed it was him, then it made complete sense.
Yeah, it made sense. Sure.
I kept thinking it was. I already forgot his name. The guy with the horses, because he's such a
Roald?
No, the beard guy. He gambles. I think. He's a random off. He's like the least present of the friend group. He has the fact that you don't even remember him says everything.
Yeah.
He has a beard. Something to do with horses, but the fact that he's so minor, but he's always there
in this season right now.
Yes, I'll pull up a picture of him. I'll find him right now.
Do it, please, because I'm blanking.
That's why it made me think it was potentially him because he was so not focused on at all.
Horses.
Yeah,
there was horses.
No, there wasn't horses, but he does something to do with horses. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how to Google exactly because I don't even know his name or anything. Oh, I could probably just go to cast on IMDb.
Yeah,
that'd probably be faster. Boom. All right, season 4. Thank you for that. I appreciate
You're welcome.
It made it a lot less nerve-wracking to search for something while the cameras are rolling. All right, scrolling. There's that guy. Rolled. Simon. Connie was his name. This guy.
Connie.
This guy with a beard.
Yeah. Okay.
Is he coming to mind now?
A little bit.
Not really.
Not really. No. Yeah.
You're okay. Right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That fucking guy. The guy laying down on the bed with the sword and the.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can see it from there, but that's the guy we're talking about.
I'll put a picture there.
Yeah, because he was so minor.
Yeah,
he was always just
really
there. He had a random couple scenes, couple insults, and that was it.
Yeah.
So the fact that he was so low key made me think, shit, man, it might be him.
Could be.
Like, Roald seemed too obvious. I didn't think it was Kate.
Nah.
So, but I dig that it's Reese.
Yeah, I mean,
now he's gonna be untouchable because he's running for mayor. You know?
Oh yeah.
So,
and I'm just like, I just love the way that this. It did, like you say, didn't end on a cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. I'm glad we had some resolution.
Yeah.
And now we're just gonna see the absolute chaos that's gonna follow.
Well, if anything, a good cliffhanger was at the very end of
episode 4.
Yes,
that was good.
When Joe walks into Kate's room and we see fucking dead Gemma.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. Because from like, damn, did he fall for a killer all over again?
Yeah. Because, ow, that hurt.
Did it hit the funny bone?
Yes. Oh. Because, ever since, I want to say it was season 2, Joe has been trying to, not be this guy anymore.
Yeah.
Not be the killer. Not be the bad guy. He wants to be the good guy. He wants to do things for love and whatever. But, he can't get away from it. Yeah. He just fucking can't. And I just love how Kate was like, why are you so good at this? Like, how are you so good at this? And I'm like, he's about to tell her everything. And this is going to get dicey.
Oh, man. Yeah. I don't even know where this is going to go in that sense, how much she knows now. But at the same time, she doesn't know everything. I don't know where it's going to go, but I know. I'm excited to see where it goes. Me too. I'm wondering, there is a character that, or not necessarily a character, but it's a character. The Cage. I'm wondering if the Cage is going to come back.
The Cage? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I don't think so. I think we're way past all that. Because Joe is like, by the way, his flat is so cozy. Oh. It's so cozy and comfortable. Like, I want to live there.
Well, that, and it shows how much a professor can earn and make and thrive overseas. And here it's a struggle.
Yeah.
Fuck the U.S. educational system.
Yeah.
Teachers are way underpaid. You guys deserve more if you're listening.
Definitely do.
But no, his flat's awesome. Yeah, everything about it. Like, in the books on the wall, the built-in bookcases. Like, I love that.
Like, it just, it's the fireplace with the old school TV, and I'm just like, I want to stay there. And don't kill me, but I want to stay there.
Well, it's so part of his look and his,
it's part of his aesthetic. Absolutely. Always has been. He's a bookworm. He loves to read, and he's very well educated. He's a well-spoken guy, but he's just a little bit he's got a little, he's got a problem.
Oh, I was like, wait, what? What are we talking about?
Talking about Joe.
I know what.
Oh.
I didn't catch it. That's what you were doing. Yeah. I'm like, why are you going so quiet?
Yeah, he's got a problem. That's it.
But yeah, dude, I had a really
great time.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Because and this was the first. This was the first time in watching you where like in the past 3 seasons, there was always this feeling of I don't want to say like it's not scary, but it's definitely a thriller.
Yeah,
a thriller. It's very suspenseful, very tense, a lot of tension. And while I felt it in this this first part of season 4, I do feel like it was a little bit more. I don't want to say that this season is bad. It's not bad. It's fucking incredible. It's amazing. But I just felt like last season there was just so much like tension and so much intensity. And this one is it's still building up, of course. And I think maybe that's why I'm thinking that, because this is the first time in the show's history where we're getting just one half. Every other season was every episode.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
If I'm going to be honest with you, I wish that Netflix would just do it weekly like every other streaming service does. I'm honestly over the binge model because every show that I watch now that's new and current is weekly episodes. Like The Last of Us is weekly. The Boys is weekly. The Mandalorian and every Marvel show is week to week to week. And I'm so used to that now. I'm used to that more than the binge model. The last show I binged that was new was Stranger Things.
And that was also cut up.
And that was cut up into 2 parts too, except, and this is something else that I know we talked about together, and this was how many episodes they're breaking it up into. I was so relieved that it was 5 episodes, because I'm like, okay, well, there's going to be 8. I assumed they were going to do the same thing as Stranger Things. 8 episodes for part 1, 2 episodes for part 2, and part 2 is going to be like, essentially like a 5-hour movie.
Yeah.
But when I was like, oh, it's only 5 episodes and they're only less than an hour each. Oh, thank God. Because I can get through with it within 2 days.
Yeah.
But that was one thing that I was very grateful for, is that I'm glad that they're breaking it up into 2 parts, because I don't think I could have done it. I don't think I could have done it.
Dude, I'm completely agreed.
Yeah.
And I think it's very reflective to the current status of the streaming world.
Yeah.
Like when Netflix, first started doing its thing and binging became a thing,
yeah,
like it was
totally.
It was all about it. I think the only thing that was kind of a threat at the time was Hulu. So
yes.
And even and then this time frame, people had the time because it was one of the very few platforms that were doing it.
Yep.
And it was exciting and getting to see everything all at once, and there was so much talk about it. But as time has gone on and things have evolved, and shows started doing the weekly aspect, the very first thing I remember who did that was The Boys, because they released like 3 episodes at first, and then I think it was the rest of them weekly. Everything on Disney Plus has been weekly. HBO Max has been weekly.
Yeah.
And I think too, it's also the idea of like kind of a growing audience. The fact that we don't have necessarily the same time we do to drop everything, and in the same aspect, now there's so much to watch across so many platforms. It's fucking ridiculous.
We're
paying for cable
man.
again.
It would literally, yeah.
That's a whole. Oh my god, it's so the fact that we're getting these episodes split up. Like, it's absolutely wonderful in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it gives, and on the same side, on the flip side, it gives the studio a chance to be in the conversation more.
Yeah.
Because then people are still talking about it, as opposed to like just talking about it for like a week and a half, and then
that's you don't.
Exactly. Like, I'll never fucking forget when WandaVision dropped.
Oh yeah.
And it was such an era, specifically that show, because of all this, the theories and what things were happening. But everyone was constantly talking about it week after week after week.
Yeah.
And then the same thing happened later on for House of Dragons.
Oh
and
yeah.
People talking about it week after week after week, and more shows here and there. Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian was
a big one as well. Yeah. So there is, that's happened a lot. But I really, really like this model, and I hope they keep it moving forward.
Yeah. And I'm honestly hoping that Netflix will ditch the binge model completely altogether, because, like I said, I'm so used to the weekly model now.
Yeah.
I think it's so much better even for content creators to have something new once a week for the amount of time that show is going on. Like, if you think about it, if you were so dedicated to a television show, like Andor, for example. Did you watch Andor?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
My
So that's
God,
12
good.
that's
How
12
have we not talked about Andor?
I don't know.
That's
We'll talk about it another
new
time.
subject right now.
Yeah. So with that in mind, like you have, you have 12 weeks to talk about each new episode if you so choose to, or you can do like what we do and we talk about it when the entire thing is over and talk about it in a broad way. But if you're someone that has the time and is able to do it week to week to week to week, and your audience looks forward to both the episode and the commentary that one person has, it only makes it better, to be completely honest, because that's, again, how the conversation goes. It's the same thing on TikTok and Instagram. A lot of TikTok creators that are giant on there, every single day, they're going to talk about something. But at least once a week, they get to talk about something that's really current, which is a television show or a new movie that comes out. So, like, that just makes it more engaging, in my opinion. With Stranger Things Season 4, that was... the conversation of that show was kind of like what you were saying. It was like a week for part 1 and then like a week for part 2. If that. I mean...
It depends on your circles. Like, I feel like everyone was still talking about it.
I mean, everyone is...
That's also Stranger Things. That's an event.
Right.
Like
but what is it that people are
lose.
talking about? Yeah, absolutely. But like everyone's still talking about Eddie. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like one of those
You're
things.
wearing a Stranger Things hoodie right now.
I sure am. We can't really see it probably, but yes, I am. So, I hope...
see the back. It's really sick.
Oh, dude, yeah. I'll show you guys later. But I hope that going forward, I know there's a lot of hoopla going around with Netflix and all that type of stuff, and maybe the
password sharing
with the
shit.
password sharing and all that shit. And
it got rolled back or pushed back, so we'll see if
it got a lot of pushback.
Well,
dude.
because they released it in Latin American countries, and it failed. Well, not necessarily failed, but they got so much backlash.
It's gonna tank.
A bunch of people canceled subscriptions.
Yes.
There was so much negative commentary on social media. A lot of people that travel for work, because they're hooked on in hotels and this and that. It's not just one IP address.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that. So the rollout for North America was pushed back.
Yeah.
Because as a result, whether or not they're still going to do it, or they're going to have something where it's like you have to check in like every 30 days or some bullshit I've been seeing. I don't know. But hopefully not, because it's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Yeah, and you're already like you're still the
number one.
biggest streaming service there is.
I'm going to be honest, I watch HBO Max a lot more. I watch HBO Max way more more than I do Netflix now. The only reason why I'm watching Netflix right now is because I'm almost done with the show Community, and then I want to watch That 90s Show, and then I want to watch You. Other than that, I'm typing in movies that I want to watch on my Amazon and seeing where it is on whatever streaming service, and just going to that streaming service and watching it there.
That's the most convenient way.
It's the most convenient.
Yeah, no, we're still watching a lot of things on Netflix. My Alexa, a lot of the baking shows on that, and the reality shows, which is a whole separate thing too, of another audience, so to speak.
Absolutely.
But yeah, there's so much to watch all across the board. HBO Max is one of my most watched as well.
Yeah. I believe they have the best content right now, to be completely honest.
They have a huge library,
Very big library. But anyways, going back to You, I feel like we kind of touched on everything that we needed to talk about there. So it's great. Can't wait to see part 2. That's going to be fucking incredible. Comes out March 9th. And
we'll talk about it then.
We'll talk about it,
on top of everything else that's happening.
Oh my god,
May.
so much in that
Jeez.
month. It's gonna be crazy.
Insane. Scream, 65, End of Last of Us, Mayfair Witches, Shazam.
Which,
John
by the
Wick.
way, Mayfair Witches is on AMC. I heard.
Plus, yes.
Fuck, I don't have that.
You can. Yeah,
I'm sure I'll find a way to watch it.
Yeah. Prime Video does an add-on.
Oh.
Yeah, where it's cheaper than if you just get AMC Plus directly, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's why I signed up a while back to watch The Walking Dead, the last couple seasons.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it is now, but that's what I did.
Okay,
and it's
fair
super
enough.
convenient. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I'll do it that way. And now, on to our second topic. We're going to talk about At the Cabin.
Clever.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. So we're big fans of M. Night Shyamalan.
Absolutely.
And I know it's depending on the film, the twist hits best or worst depending.
His most recent filmography, I want to say ever since Split.
Split's my number one of his films.
Really?
Forever. Just
Not Unbreakable?
No. I mean, I like Unbreakable.
Okay. All right. Split was a great movie.
The story, the magnificent acting, top tier actor from James McAvoy.
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy, always amazing. The twists and turns within that, the best twist because it led to a movie that we didn't even think about being in the same universe.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, there was just so much about that movie. It was that I fucking loved.
Yeah.
The superhero aspect of it. That we built into, we got there. Yeah. That's my favorite of his, man.
Okay, fair enough. Personally, I want to say, because I was thinking about it earlier, because I knew we were going to talk about his other movies. I want to say Unbreakable because that movie was such a surprise to me.
And it was very underrated.
Super underrated. And I feel like that's why I feel like, to me, it's the best, because I feel like people do talk about it, but I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough as M. Night Shyamalan's best movie. Now, The Sixth Sense is an amazing film. The Village is so good. Signs was so good. The only movie I haven't seen of his, is Lady in the Water. That's the only one I haven't seen.
I haven't seen that either. I haven't seen that, and
don't see The Last Airbender if you haven't seen it.
The Last Airbender.
Don't see it. It's God. It's so bad.
Like, I remember like seeing the trailer and like thinking the visuals looked great, but then never got around to it. And then I remember hearing all the hate for it. Wait, did he do After Earth? No, right?
I think that he like produced it.
I was gonna say I knew he was attached somehow.
I think that was I'm gonna look
speaking
that
of
up,
attached and M. Night Shyamalan as a whole, Servant.
Yes,
I needed a really quick
that's an amazing show.
If you guys haven't been aware of it just yet, it's a show on Apple TV.
Oh no, it is directed by M. Night.
Oh, okay.
After Earth.
I haven't seen that one either.
I haven't either.
It's super good. It's very twisty. There's a lot of what's going on. The actors are phenomenal. And there's been I've seen a lot of memes where the reason why it's so good is because it hasn't reached its ending yet.
Yeah.
So it can be so good for so long.
And then because
we don't know what the twist will be just yet, or twists.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on.
Yeah, so much. Currently watching that. Yeah. We're about halfway through. That also ends in March.
Like
done?
Yeah,
series finale.
Okay.
Yeah, as a whole.
Okay.
But going back to Knock at the Cabin. So I was really excited for it. It looked really interesting.
Yeah.
Dave Bautista.
So good.
He's so great, and I love that he's getting a chance to do a lot more dramatic acting lately. Rupert Grint is always a highlight.
Oh, so good.
It's phenomenal on Servant.
Oh yeah.
So going into this, I knew not too much other than the cabin aspect and the fact that there was a hidden motive. Oh, spoilers. Oh, yeah, that the end of the world apparently is a result of their actions. How much did you know going in?
Okay, so I remember seeing the trailer for it on Instagram, but I only seen it the one time.
Yeah,
I didn't because I'm like, oh, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I don't want to dive too much into it, so I didn't. And honestly, I had forgotten what the plot was until I watched the movie.
Nice.
So I almost essentially went into this blind.
That's the best.
So, but obviously I knew Dave Bautista was in it. I knew about, a cabin, but I just forgot about the plot. I just didn't remember it. And so when he was like, oh yeah, one of you has to sacrifice yourself or else the world's going to end. And if the world ends, you three, Jonathan Groff, Ben Aldridge, and Kristen Cui, I don't know how to pronounce her name, their daughter, are going to be only three people that live, and they get to see the rest of the world die.
Real quick, as a fan of Hamilton, it was really cool to see Jonathan Groff in this.
See, I have only seen him in The Matrix. What was the fourth?
Revelations.
Revelations?
Yeah.
Is that what it was
that's
called?
The third, sorry.
That's Revolutions. Resurrected. Matrix Resurrections. That's what it was called.
Is it Resurrection?
It's Resurrections. It is.
Plural?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's and that movie was not going to talk about it. But that was the only thing I ever saw him in before that.
Okay.
And I thought he was fine in that movie. But M. Night Shyamalan he's an auteur of sorts, right?
Sure.
When you watch one of his movies, this is one of his movies because he's a
style.
He has a style of working the camera. He has a writing style, a cadence style in the dialogue when the actors are speaking. This is one of his movies. Although I will say that this felt like a little bit different. There are obviously certain camera angles that he did. I'm like, this is totally him. I can Like this is his stamp, right?
Yeah.
But the dialogue was not as it was, what's the word?
Sharp?
No, it wasn't as I can't think of the word, but I feel like in like The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable and like The Village, like it was just very weird, and like their tone of voices and the way they said their words, it was like almost as if like they didn't know how to not didn't know how to speak. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it was just very very weird. But this felt like the most like kind of a straightforward M. Night Shyamalan movie.
I could see that, and it's just enough. I feel like that's why for me the twist didn't land as well.
Well, for me, and I will say this, I don't believe that there was a twist in this movie. You could argue that the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse was the twist, so to speak.
That in addition, yes, but it's also to the addition of the fact that these things are actually happening.
Right.
And when I went into the film, I already took that to be happening, but after watching it, I realized that you as an audience member were supposed to be in the same point of view as the couple. Mm-hmm. And being in the sense of disbelief, and these are just crazy people coming in. And I did like this fact that we first got introduced to Dave Bautista, and there was something unsettling about his character.
So unsettling,
and the way he was talking with Wen and all that, like something felt very off. And I'm like, okay, I could totally believe that this guy's like, I could see myself believing that this guy's crazy.
Yeah,
but I don't know if it was because I knew it was M. Night that I just accepted the fact that there'd be some sort of supernatural connection.
That's exactly what I thought too.
And I just went with it, as opposed to being in the sense of like, no, they're crazy. This is just some weird cult shit.
Yeah.
Like that was not, I guess, lost to me in a sense. So when they're like, oh no, these are the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, I was like, cool. But I'm like, oh, but then but everything was real. Yeah, I was running with everything was real. So it was less of like this, like,
now this movie is also like a good movie that like the theme of it is essentially gaslighting, if you think about it. Because if you think about it, the way I looked at it was this: we're supposed to have the point of view from the couple, right?
Yeah.
The amount of times that Ben Aldridge pointed out, like, this was already pre-recorded and this and that and this and that, I'm like, I believe that. It makes sense.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So, like, you know, like them being a part of this weird, like, murder cult, all they could say, like, yeah, like, that's something that they can just hold on to be like, yeah, you know, we had these visions and this and that and this and that, but, you know, there's something...
It's interesting too, because in the same sense, at the very end of the film, we find out that these people were telling the truth.
Yes.
You know, we get to see their belongings, and again, when they introduced themselves in the film, I believed it.
Yeah,
like I wasn't doubting it, and I feel like that was what you were supposed to have been doing.
Yeah,
really doubting the situation, not believing these people. But I think it's because I over-trusted M. Night. And I'm like, okay, I'm in for the ride. And like, I just took these things at value, as opposed to like the whole aspect. I feel if we had gone in a little bit more grounded somehow, you're good. It would have landed differently. Like, and not to say that I didn't enjoy the film, because I actually had a really, really good time.
I did too. I think it's one of his better movies. Definitely his best recent movie. I think it's his best recent movie.
I enjoyed Old more, but I didn't enjoy the twist as much.
I liked Old
because I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, Old's twist was kind of just like underwhelming to me. I still liked it, but I felt in, you know, how recent we're talking about. If we're going to talk about M. Night's recent work, I'm going past The Visit. Like, The Visit was the resurgence of him, in my opinion.
All right, then, I mean, Split, Glass.
Yeah. Glass was underwhelming at the end, though.
At the very end, it was. Leading up to it,
Leading up to it was incredible.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else that's happened. Now, it's like, we're big fans of M. Night Shyamalan. Like, no, I'm forgetting his whole
no. Like, The Visit, The Visit was his, like, I would say, like,
wasn't
resurgence.
Signs and Village around the same time? Like a couple years?
It was in the early 2000s, yeah. Signs was like 2002, and like the Village was like 03 or 04. Yeah.
So, but then you wouldn't consider Signs as resurgence?
No,
Why am I
because
slurring?
are you drunk?
I don't think so.
So
This is
like,
water, right?
So like here's Sixth Sense was his debut. Unbreakable. Then it was
Hold on, I'm pulling up his IMDb.
yeah. So it was the Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs, The Village, then I think The Happening was after The Village.
Because you're talking about like a resurgence, but
'Cause what I'm
he's
saying
been
is-
very like it's been every every 2 years.
What
he's been doing stuff.
what I mean by that is okay. So Lady in the Water, then The Happening. What I mean by that is once Lady in the Water came out, people were like, no. Then
I see what
The
you mean.
Happening happened, and people were like,
Oh,
no.
gotcha,
And then
gotcha.
and then people were like, The Last Airbender was awful. That almost like tanked his career. And then like, yes, Devil was like a producer credit for him.
Oh, I remember The Visit.
And like people were like, okay, Devil was pretty good, but he was a producer on that, not director. And then The Visit was like his producer directing coming back.
Yeah.
And people were
I'll
like,
agree with that.
yo, that was good. And then it was
So
split.
then, when you're referring to his recent films, you're talking as of The Visit, basically.
Yeah,
like this
because
back half.
that's when people started to like, I don't want to say take him seriously again, but people were starting to be like, okay, he's back.
Well,
kinda
then, in
thing.
that sense, we've had The Visit, Split, Glass, Old, and Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah.
And when it comes to those films, if I had to place it somewhere,
I would say not. I would say for me, it went Knock at the Cabin, and then Split, and then The Visit, and then Old, and then Glass. For me,
it'd be Split at the top, and then The Visit.
God, The Visit is so scary, dude.
So good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know how to rate the because I loved Old up until the twist was underwhelming.
Yeah.
But it didn't ruin it for me.
They didn't ruin
And
it either.
Knock at the
but-
Cabin, I accepted everything, so therefore it didn't land the way it was supposed to. But I really really enjoyed it.
The one
and
thing that
Glass I loved up until the end.
Yeah, the one thing that I kind of was like, the plot point of like, I forgot the Jonathan Groff's character's name. I think it was Eric. When he was like, yeah, I saw the Vision too, or I saw the figure.
Yeah, the figure.
I was like,
yeah.
where's the figure? I want to see what the figure looked like. Now, technically speaking, in the opening credits, we saw all these weird, creepy drawings, and there was like some type of figure. Now, I was hoping, like you were saying, that there was some supernatural element involved, because usually with M. Night Shyamalan scary thriller movies, there is something.
I mean,
there.
well, ultimately there was.
Yes, there was, but I mean, like I was hoping that it would actually be like some paranormal entity that we would see come walking out,
I think
or
that,
some shit. You
that
know
was
what I mean?
part of it too for me. I think
Yeah.
I was expecting to find out more of what brought them together.
Yes.
Or who was
Yeah.
this whatever deity, whatever figure he saw.
Yeah.
I was expecting more of that kind of reveal.
I mean, I guess also another good, like, I don't want to say this was a twist, but a good tie-in was Rupert Grint
Being the guy
that attacked I'm blanking on the other husband's name at that bar. That was something I was like, oh shit, like that was so. And then I thought, okay, well, if he's tied to them, how are the other three going to be tied to them? Maybe they had
I
met.
see. Yeah.
Maybe they had met them as well in
At some point.
some other point in time, like, you know, hopefully not in a horrible circumstance like being attacked at a bar, but who knows? Like maybe
True.
Yeah, but you know, and the fact that it wasn't that was fine too. You know what I mean? So, but I was still like at the beginning of the movie, like when Dave Bautista is being introduced, and he's talking to what was the daughter's name again?
Who's
The daughter.
Wen?
Wen, yes. When he was talking to Wen and collecting grasshoppers, and they're back and forth, and he would look behind himself, and there would be like the windy trees and all that type of shit. And I'd go, what's coming? And then when it was like, oh yeah, you have to sacrifice yourself and all that, and else the world ends. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun though. It wasn't as anxiety inducing that I thought it was. Also, fun fact: this is, I think this is the first R-rated M. Night Shyamalan movie since The Happening.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I remember seeing something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was,
And that's the thing. I didn't feel like it was necessarily R either, because I felt like they cut away in a lot of the murders.
They cut away a lot of the murders.
So-
And but I mean, the reason why it was rated R more or less was because when you would still see the aftermath and be a lot of blood and gore, and there was a lot of cussing.
I mean, that's the way you get around things a lot. Because I mean, the way the film was as it happened, it seemed to me that they were filming it with a PG-13 in mind, but ultimately the MPAA had it decided to be for it to be R.
Yeah.
But I mean, so I mean, ratings aside of whether it was or wasn't, I had a good time with it. Ultimately, I mean, I already mentioned how I felt like it just didn't land necessarily. But I mean, the performances were great. I really felt for the couple and everything they went through, and I loved getting like the flashbacks and like their backstory and everything they've had to deal with. And then on top, they have this now to deal with the fucking planes flying out of the sky. That was fucking terrifying.
Scared the shit out of me.
And I know that shit kind of really scares you, huh?
Yeah, I hate flying. So when I saw that shit, like, and we talked about this about The Last of Us when we were talking about episode 1, like, after it had come out, and talking about certain things that you felt during those episodes and what it made you feel. Like, there's obviously a plane crash in that episode, and I'm just like, and Yellow Jackets. We talked about Yellow Jackets. So watching that
that also comes out in March.
I know.
Jeez, dude.
I know. But see, and that's another show.
Life in March.
But that show comes out weekly though.
Yes.
And that's going to be great.
That's what I love, yeah.
That's going to be great. So, but yeah, even watching that show in the first episode where there was the plane crash there, it was just so, it got my fucking heart racing. But, this movie did get my heart racing at certain points. Absolutely, 1,000%. Whenever they fucking put that white thing on their head.
Dude.
And by the way, what I was a little disappointed by was the fact that we didn't get to spend a lot of time with Rupert Grint in this movie.
I was going to say, I think he felt very like, let's get a bigger name and kill him off immediately so no one feels safe type thing.
Which did work, it was effective.
Was a shame to see him.
But it was such like a, they could have done so much more, I felt like.
Especially too after we've seen him in Servant. And I feel like so many people haven't necessarily seen that side of him, acting wise.
No, not at all, man.
So like I was expecting to see more of him and giving that like ooh, like but, he was quick to die.
He was fantastic in this movie for the short amount of time he was in it. He was so commanding and so good. Did that feel good?
Yeah, it was just one though. I didn't expect. I thought they were all gonna crack, but they didn't.
Yeah, no. But and then like the other two were so good, and like their deaths were so gruesome because Dave Bautista was the one to kill them all. Like, can you imagine getting bludgeoned in the head by that fucking guy?
Well, they were all killed by everyone up until the very end, I think, right?
Well, yeah,
Rupert got bludgeoned in the head. By everybody though.
By everybody?
Everybody, yeah.
Oh, I guess I don't remember. But yeah, dude, like that was just, and then like I don't know, and the way Dave Bautista offed himself was just so, what's the word I'm looking for? Just very unsettling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wasn't.
The camera just zoomed in on him really, really slowly, and I kind of actually, I don't mind off-screen kills for the most part, or where you don't see the entire kill, because I forgot who it might have been you talking about off-screen kills, or it could have been Tim Nieto. We talk about off-screen. I've talked about off-screen kills before, and sometimes when you don't see it, you can kind of almost make it up in your own mind how he died, and you can make it worse. So in my mind, when I would see the off-screen kills in this movie in specific, it was just like, dude, like that's, to me, it was more unsettling.
Yeah, that's brutal for sure.
Sometimes.
Well, did you catch? I read about it later on. I didn't realize this was a thing, but. For each of the horsemen, they're all wearing a single color shirt, and every color is something. So yellow is healing, like the nurse. The chef.
No way.
Blue for nurturing. Rupert Grint's character is wearing a red shirt, like just wrath.
Yeah.
And
Dave Bautista was white. So.
White, which is guidance.
Yeah.
And so they all had these colors matching with their personalities and careers and such.
I mean, like, obviously now that you mention it, it's like, that's so cool.
Exactly. I'm like, that's a really cool detail.
Yeah,
I like that they did that.
Yeah, but obviously when I was watching it, that didn't even come across my mind at all.
But to get, I mean, this falling under like the horror genre as a general whole. Between this and Megan and everything that's about to come out, I feel like, because last year was a really good fucking year for horror.
Yeah, it is.
And I feel like this year it's going to be another fantastic year for it.
Totally.
Like, there's so much crazy shit happening. Scream, Evil Dead Rise.
Dude, I saw the trailer for that movie. That looks so bonkers.
Dude,
I am not seeing that movie.
I purposely only saw, I think it was like 16 or 20 seconds of the trailer, like in the kitchens, and I'm like, that's it. I am stopping here because I'm very excited to see where this goes. I can already tell it's terrifying. I'm purposely not looking into it. I know it's another installment in the Evil Dead franchise, Sam Raimi's. So whether it's a direct sequel or a retelling or it picks up after the show, I don't know where the fuck it lands in the continuity. But I'm excited and I want to go into it as fresh as fucking possible.
It looks fucking terrifying,
it really
dude.
Fucking does, dude.
It looks awesome, but I am not seeing that in the theaters. No fucking way.
I have to.
Not a chance, dude. Not a fucking chance. I wish I had the balls to go sit in a theater and watch. Renfield looks great though. I saw the trailer for Renfield. That looks so fucking good, dude.
And I'm so glad you got a chance to check it out. So the last time we spoke about Renfield, if you watched our last episode, it's an upcoming movie based on loosely with the Bram Stoker's Dracula novel. And the fact that he's a side character, but in this film, it's him. He is the guy, Nicholas Hoult, and fucking Nick Cage as Dracula.
Dude, I laughed my ass off when it was him being Dracula, because like, and when I saw,
it makes perfect fucking sense.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Of course it does. But like the people that were in the theater with me, we were all dying of laughter because like, Nicolas Cage has always been this super just like...
Well, not always. He was a serious actor for a long time.
Of course, but he's become like a meme now. But like it's a good thing. It's kind of like...
Well, that's why this is so great.
I know, and that's what I'm looking forward to that so much. And there was a Red Band trailer that I saw too.
Yeah, it's only Red Band. I think.
My gosh, and it just looks so bananas. Like it looks out of this world. And I saw the trailer for Cocaine Bear. That looks so. And by the way, I did not know Elizabeth Banks is doing that movie. Like. What the fuck? Stinky Linky from Zack and Mary Make a Porno is directing that movie. Like, what
and
the hell?
And it's based on a real fucking story, man.
I know, which is crazier. I'm like, that really happened? Yeah. I mean, obviously not to the degree that the movie is telling you, but...
I don't know how much of the details, but I remember hearing about the bear getting into cocaine. So, like...
When I heard that it was a true story, I Googled it, and I'm like, wow. Like, I cannot actually believe that this is a real thing, but obviously the movie is an exaggeration. It's not a...
But it looks so great. It's gonna steal all the Oscars. It's gonna be phenomenal, and I can't fucking wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. But I think we can wrap it up here.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah?
I think we did a great job of just discussing you and Knock at the Cabin. Next week, potentially, or our next episode
will be about Quantumania.
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
I mean, the fact that just the way our kind of schedules and calendars are happening and that being the only thing we're going to talk about, but it being that movie.
Oh, yeah, man.
There's going to be so much to discuss. I'm really fucking excited. Maya and I have been rewatching like the Ant-Man movies.
I actually need to do that before because it's current today. It's February 13th when we're recording and it comes out on Friday. So.
It does. Well, are you familiar with Marvel Legends? The Disney Plus shorts?
No, but I need to. I'm gonna watch the movies too because I always
that always helps
when
especially if you don't have a lot of time.
Yeah. So, but you know, usually whenever the newer Marvel movie comes out, especially if it's a continuation like a sequel or a third or a fourth, I'll always watch the prior movies before just to kind of get myself in the mood.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Like Peyton Reed directed this movie too, correct?
I believe so, yeah. So we watched Ant-Man, we watched Captain America Civil War because he does appear in it briefly.
Right, yeah.
Next up is Ant-Man and the Wasp and then Endgame. But yeah, I mean, like, or audience members, if you're not aware, so Disney Plus has a show. It's called Marvel Legends, and it gives you like these really great, basically recaps on the characters.
Yeah,
and they're all usually like about 6 minutes per character, and it gives you a chance to catch up on everything if you don't have a chance to watch like 4 2-hour movies in a single sitting.
Which I do. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're doing one on Ant-Man, the Wasp, and Hank and Janet. So the fact that they have a little episode for them.
That's cool.
gives me allows me to think that they're going to be featured a lot more in this film. I've only seen the teaser on purpose.
Oh, dude, and you know what sucks?
Fucking purpose.
You know what sucks is that I saw the fucking trailer of Quantumania before Knock at the Cabin. And
why didn't you run out of theater?
Because I was already in too deep. I already had my popcorn. I already had all my shit with me.
Close your eyes.
No, dude, I might as well.
That's what I fucking do, man.
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, but how am I supposed to know when the trailer is over when I'm going la 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 la? Like, just what?
You keep doing, or you do this like la 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 la. Okay.
No, I know, but I was just like, whatever. I'm already here. It's not that big of a deal. I'm sure that obviously what was presented in the trailer isn't probably going to make a fucking dent what we're actually going to see in the movie. But the fact is that I saw I know what Kang the Conqueror looks like now. I know what the Quantum Realm looks like when they go in. I'm just like, I'm just like, I know, but I didn't. I was just in too deep. I was just into it.
Well, next time. No.
I know. Well, but yeah. I'm very excited to watch that. So yeah, that'll be our next episode, and hopefully that'll be the only topic because this is a lot to talk about.
It is. And thank you, audience members, for listening.
Yes.
We do appreciate you guys so much.
Yes.
It's the reason we're doing this on top of the fun we're having, just catching up.
Absolutely.
So,
dude. Absolutely.
Thank you. Please
Thank you very
subscribe.
much for watching. Yes, I was going to say subscribe, share this shit. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give it a 5-star review. Hit the follow button on that. Subscribe to those as well. Keeps the algorithm going. That way we can keep doing this thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Thank you so much for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Have a wonderful night.